All right, here we are for Game 7 of the January 2018 Allied Final Tournament here with Gunner and Arg under AKAs here on US West.
Yay!
Arg, you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get this game started. So I believe you're in this Arg, right? But not Gun, right? And that is the case. So we have Napoleon, Germany, Chris, Italy, Krasnaya as Spain. That's interesting to have him Spain. I actually don't even know how his Spain is. Molotov here as UK, Penny as France, Lurker as Norway, who I love Lurker as Norway. He's so strong. And Arganot here as Russia. So what are you guys seeing initially? I'm seeing Penny poke in Belgium a little bit with the tanks. Looks like a quick 6 tank from Arganot. I don't think I hear you. I think it's an issue with the Discord. How about now? You guys talk now?
Yeah,
Okay.
was
All
just
right,
waiting
cool.
for you.
I wasn't seeing your voice or before. All right, cool. Now we
Yeah,
got
Fred.
you.
It's pressuring on West.
Yep. That's a nice attack.
It's a good play by Spain, though, to immediately put pressure on France whenever he does that. So many times Spain's don't do that. Then France is able to get back and put pressure on Spain.
Absolutely, very, very key, and nice grouping of units from kraz. Now, when you're Penny and you're poking as France, what are you looking for when you're out poking? Like, are you looking to get that siege tank up north, those turrets? Are you looking to just do as many buildings and unit damage as possible before the BCs come and then pull? Like, what are you doing?
That's personally what I'm doing, is just doing the damage before the BCs get there. Or even then, if you're just doing it before even Spain reacts. It's trying to get as much damage and as much ground as you can without being touched.
This is a good little back and forth between Napoleon and Kraz, and now they have France flanked, and it looks like that's going to be almost all the kills left. He's going to try to micro these tanks into the bunker, but he shouldn't be getting too many more kills. So he's got 55 right now, probably going to get around a 60 kill hold, and that's pretty good. I'd have to say Penny did a good job there. Cleared out West Germany, make the possible lurker drops a little bit easier.
And on East, Chris did a hell of a job luring a bunch of Russia's units.
Wow, look at all those
Even
tanks he
bunkers
still has.
up.
Look at all that
Tanks,
air.
ghosts, bunkers, air. Russian
Wow.
BCs are dead.
Here it's like you really have some control, and you don't want to sit here. You want to be able to use this advantage. It's something I'm guilty of a little bit. Is when you have this big advantage as Italy, you just sit there and you wait for Russia to attack. Like, you really got to be either using your drops and doing some small drop plays, or using your tanks and trying to poke into Russia. Is that what you're thinking as well, Arg? When you have a real nice hold like Chris just did?
Yes, so especially when you got all the tanks and, I mean, even the air and the BCs too. Russia really has nothing to do throw at you except Marines, and your tanks and ghosts are just going to mow them down. If with his army he had left over too, if he was able to just reapply and attack that into Russia and keep him busy before Norway gets drops, that's just buy some more time to get set up for that second attack or whatever allies are planning.
So we have Chris with his got his drops, and he got it with the airport from Africa. So that's a little bit different. I don't see many people doing that. Normally, people take the science facility from their bomber command, but here looks like Arg is going Russia. I mean Balks. Do you remember what the calls were like here? Like, do you remember what your intention was? Were you just want to poke, or is this a full attack?
My intention was I knew I got wrecked on East first turn,
Yeah.
and I wasn't going there.
Yeah, and that was a good call, because look at the 4 bunkers that were made, right? And there were no defenses here in Balks, and you're going to get a real successful attack off.
But I believe the plan was for Lurker to go west and keep him busy. And knowing that, I didn't really do too good on East. Even from the get-go, that attack, I knew I was probably going to go Balks and just get as much ground on ground that you can do.
Yep.
More ground you can kill than the less that they can use on West.
Absolutely, and you killed a lot of buildings here, and it basically opened up all of Austria. Now, Chris has lifted out his barracks NCC. He's really good about that, and you normally never can do a Balks rush and get those buildings on Chris. But Yeah, very successful attack, and we're going to see where Kraz is going to be going as Spain. Does he just focus med here, or does he try to do something a little bit aggressive?
Their
I see
team definitely
five.
knows Lurker is a Normandy heavy Norway, so it's definitely set for it.
Yeah, and BC's right there. Yeah, BC is actually a little bit closer than normal, and
Yeah,
to
what
be able to
we
respond.
were trying to do was like focus on stopping Lurker's constant drops on France.
Yeah. Now, Gunnar, were you talking
And
with your
Kraz
team
and
at
and
all, like
and
before this game?
yeah, and we basically just had a plan set to focus on Lurker's constant drops on West. So
Nice.
we're coordinating between Nap and Kraz to make sure that was always like ready.
I love getting
One
the inside knowledge here from the two team captains. So this is a real special cast. So whatever you guys can say about how your teams were thinking or what you guys were talking about, like please like chime right in and say exactly what was going on or what was said.
Well, it was good that they went UK here. It was an awesome power move. Realizing that Lurker had just dropped and that it got stuffed, so it was very aggressive play by all three Axis players here working together.
This is exactly what I was calling for too, for Chris to do. You had that great stop. You have bunkers high on east. Go ahead and make a play with your extra units, and he does just that. He goes ahead and drops them here in London, and a little bit strange that he picks them back up again and doesn't
going
keep
to
them
med.
there. Go into med.
Yeah,
Okay,
going to med.
that's good. That's good communication then. If there's going to be some trouble, right? So
It's also a cautious play too.
That was a
It,
smart play though for
it,
them to hit UK like that though. Like you said, Lurker had just dropped, so there's no counter drop. Do the damage, get rid of the defenses. Next time you go UK, easy peasy.
yeah,
and if you look in Berlin, Molo's looking for BCs here. Molo and Nap just know each other's gameplay so well.
yeah. What a pleasure. What a pleasure to cast these guys. We've seen a lot of question mark Germany, so it's just nice to see a few other Germanys.
Lurker getting ready to drop again.
So here the series is at 5-1, and so the series is at 5-1 for Team Argonaut, and we're gonna see how this game 7 is going to bring it. Is it going to bring it to for 2 wins for Gunner, or is Arg going to get one more win? So we're going to have to see. Game's pretty close right now. Napoleon building Ghosts, as well as he's got his 2 ports working. It looks like they're building BCs. So he is also getting some air upgrades, getting both attack and defense. And Chris is desperately trying to clog the bulks here. And sending your scouts out ahead to take out some of these units. Not a whole lot.
When you're Russia, if you can get your scouts on Italy's ground, or if it's spread out and pick off the regular Marines and try to avoid the veterans, but if you can get Ghost and regular infantry, it can do a lot of damage to Italy.
And here we're having a big air battle here in bulks. Molo trying to get his RAF in position right underneath the Marines to get onto the Messers, and he gets a couple of nice shots. Knocks off 2 of Napoleon's Messers, open BCs, but Molo maybe did not see that. Maybe just did not
That's
have the
a
vision
real
there.
unfortunate misclick by the Axis right there at the air.
But not too much damage was done. Russian troops funneling in, trying to get a base against Germany, and it looks like they're going to get it. Good shots onto the BCs. Ghosts are crumbling from the weight of the tanks and the Marines.
It was a good hit by Argonaut. A little miscommunication on my team's part, but everyone played really well this game, in my opinion.
Damn, look at that air. Yeah, that's it.
Napo still had a bunch of ground too on east. If he was able to actually get that there, probably would have turned the fight a little bit.
I completely agree. He had 2 BCs that spawned, Messers that spawned at 2, and a bunch of tanks. And just like as well as if the bunkers were emptied as well from Italy and Germany.
A couple of things that our team still is going to work on is just communication and trying to get everyone on the same page. But I mean, honestly, Nat, Kraz, Chris, they played well. They played hard.
This was a good game. It was a great
Yeah,
first stop.
it was a very good
It
game.
was like really solid UK damage right into the industry. Got the 2 ports, and Kraz being able to get med and looking pretty good doing it. Just a little bit. If Spain was in bulks with that attack, again, that changes things as well.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'm not too sure what Kraz was doing. He may have been working with Al, just fighting Penny. But if he would have had his drop and all access troops, which, I mean, when you're in that situation with your fleet, and if you can just keep stuffing Russia and just doing what you're doing, I mean, they would have stuffed that thing, gone UK next. It would have been a totally different game.
Now Lurker's loving this situation. He's got his drop here in UK, knowing that the BCs have been taken out. This is where Lurker breaks the game open. I'm assuming. I haven't watched this game yet, but here he goes, looking to get about 12 drops here onto Spain. He's got 12 drops. Some Air Force going with him. One Madrid bunker loaded. And he's going to be taking the top position, getting the starport first, and then working his way down to get the command center. Those are the 2 pivotal buildings when you drop in this location. Very rarely you're able to take all of Madrid out, but here we're going to see how Lurker does, and he is an excellent dropper and knows how to get the most amount of damage. But yeah, looks at takes out Madrid, takes out everything important here in Spain, and Spain does a counter drop onto UK, kind of trading countries.
And his only SCV is building a storage depot on London right now.
Yep, yeah, try to lock up as much tax as possible. Maybe you can take 1 or 2 other cities, build your command center here in England, and then float it down to safety.
That appears to be what he is doing. I would not recommend that.
Alright, you're just microing your tank and your men. Decide to go for the bunkers. You got a nice flank. Very wise. It was either that or possibly go Berlin or go Rome. I like the decision. So Kraz was only able to tax 1,250. So only having, unfortunately, London and 1 city or 2 cities here on the mainland means a 1,200 tax. And here he goes with the command center. This guy's drops close by, so if he does see any Norway or UK in the area, he can quickly get the SCV out, but does the drop then just get destroyed? There he goes. He takes him right out of there. Probably build an SCV or 2 here in England, is what I would assume he's going to do.
Who the fuck is Clout in FAP 001?
These are a couple of distinguished gentlemen that are casting Game 7 with me. Presently.
Here's Lurker with the drop for UK. It's gonna wipe out all of Spain's men.
Yeah, it's good. Kraz got a CC out of there.
Yeah, he did. I was just going to ask if he did or not. So Lurker really doing what he can, and yeah, even though he got his first drop crushed, he went ahead and knocked out Spain, and then retook UK. So hey, real solid game from him. Arg, you definitely had a good bulks attack there. Made a good decision.
Lurker is on the brink of almost having more kills as Italy, which is something I've never seen.
That is so rare.
A Norway having more kills than Italy.
Yeah, that's special. I love looking at some of these kill discrepancies, as I point out a lot of my videos, and that's the big one right there. So I didn't notice that. Thanks for pointing that out.
I also like to point out that, I mean, despite it being a tough position for my guys to be in, they didn't give up, and I honestly respect that from my Axis team.
Absolutely.
Like they didn't give up. They didn't give up. They kept fighting, and
using all the BCs there, I appreciate.
I love them for that. They kept fighting, and that's good. That's exactly what I expect from them. So.
they're still trying. You can see here they're fighting for Spain back. They want to retake this territory. Maybe work on UK after Oslo, depending what kind of offense can get people put forward. And definitely, there's no quit in this Axis team. Nap, Chris, and Kraz. Kraz floating his drops over into Algeria. Kind of curious what's this gonna do. Does he have any men in them? If he does, he's gonna drop it on this barracks. No, he's just scouting. Oh, he's suiciding his drops. I wonder if Penny's gonna realize this in Africa, that he's suiciding these drops on purpose to be able to build an SCV. He doesn't recognize that. Okay. Kraz could have kept 1 or 2 drops there and would have been advised to do so. He had a 10 supply man count, and with all the drops going down, he went down to a 2 man count. So having 2 or 3 drops as opposed to having no drops for Spain, very key. And it really limits your ability if you have to try to rebuild a factory and a starport here so late in the game, like around D-Day time.
Yeah, I don't think there's rebuilding a starport at this point.
And really, I wouldn't personally. I know a lot of players would say, well, you can't do anything as Spain if you don't have a starport. Well, you know, you can at least supply some men to a battle. That's doing something.
But you're right. If he would have saved a few drops, he could have kept burying men in the UK or something, right?
Well, it would have gave
Or
that
even Alge
option,
with lesser support.
right? Or like, you know, as it's cleared by air, being able to have a, you know, do 2 or 3 drops with an SCV, take some cities, put some, you know, have Penny be focused both on Africa and on East. But here, very solid drop by Penny, going to the week in Spain, knowing that D-Day just happened. BC's getting finished off, and this is probably the end of the game. I don't.
Nepo had a nice move on the air, but it just wasn't enough.
It was a good game, man. It was close. Like I said, my guys didn't give up, and I'm proud of them for that. I'm glad they still kept at it. You guys played well.
You guys were definitely
It was a good game.
2 away from winning, so definitely a good game.
All right, so 17 minutes in the books. Yeah, you gotta hand it to Arg and kind of Lurker as doing their thing, and Penny was solid in Africa. So this is game 7, win for Team Arganot. So thank you, Arganot and Gunner, for casting me with this and your specific insights on the game.
Thanks, Rev.
Yes, sir.